type of thing has been going on for years now, and enough is enough with this nonsense. It's like every time we celebrate Dr. King's birthday, right? It's already bad enough that you have the mainstream media out here just relegating Dr. King to "I Have a Dream" and ignoring everything else. I mean, it's already bad enough you have to deal with that, because the true Dr. King was about reparations. The true Dr. King was about empowering the black community. So it's already bad enough that we have white supremacists out here trying to massage and finagle and try to relegate his legacy to just one speech. So it makes it even harder to fight to preserve the legacy of Dr. King when we have this kind of buffoonery going on, when you have all these posters out here of Dr. King with a whole bunch of women twerking and him holding up a fan of $100 bills, or him having some gold fronts and some diamond earrings in his ear like Rihanna did last year. And then when I called that out, you had a whole bunch of buffoons, a whole bunch of ignorant motherfuckers out here defending that nonsense. These young, dumb, full of cum, reckless ass talking motherfuckers out here that will sit up here and defend that bullshit and attack a person like me for calling that out. And if it weren't for him, we wouldn't even have this day. And truth be told, this is a day that the government proposed and propped up onto us. This is not what we asked for. This is not what he asked for. Because see, he who loses the he who sacrifices the most benefits the least. I'm gonna repeat that one more time. He who sacrifices the most benefits the least. And this is how we want to repay a legend like Dr. King. This is how we want to show our appreciation for Dr. King, by putting him up on the poster with a whole bunch of hoes twerking and him holding a fan $100 bills. This is how we want to repay the man? You people are disgusting that's out here propping this up. Now, all you so-called community leaders, all you so-called activists out there, why are you not out here denouncing this? When you see this type of shit being posted up in nightclubs and all that in your area, why are you not out here denouncing this? Why are you not out here taking down these bullshit ass posters? This shit is disgusting. Look at this nonsense. Look at this nonsense. Look at this shit. Look at this. This how we want to remember the life of Dr. King, a man who was out with feet on the ground, man who's gotten beaten, man who's gotten jailed, who was out there during Bloody Sunday along there with John Lewis, because that was John Lewis's claim to fame. Look at this nonsense. Look at this. This type of buffoonery right here, it will give people who want to learn about Dr. Martin Luther King the wrong perception about him. When this kind of buffoonery is being propped up. Look at this nonsense. They want to sit up here and attack a person like me for calling out this buffoonery. If you really want to know about the life of Dr. Martin Luther King, you research and not what the white media is propping up, because okay, I'm hearing white folks out here speaking on Dr. King, and like Harry Smith, a guy who did CBS this morning. Now he's on the Today Show. Why is he speaking on Dr. King? You don't know nothing about him. If you really want to know about the life of Dr. Martin Luther King, you got to observe and read and understand what he stood for. This kind of nonsense right here is not that. If what this does is desecrating, destroying, and defecating on the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Because if it weren't for him, a lot of these provisions we have now, we wouldn't have had when it comes to fighting for civil rights. And then they're putting up here these symbolic gestures, statues out here. There was a statue that's out here that I have no idea where that came from, who created it, but it's disrespectful. And we need more black folks out here denouncing this nonsense. We need more black folks out here that's going to call out this buffoonery when you see it. Because this is a damn shame and a disgrace. This is a disgrace that these kind of banners are being propped up out here. Now, if you are a supporter of what this man stood for, you would denounce this kind of buffoonery. I mean, look at this thing. Look at this. Look at this nonsense. This is highly offensive. And you individuals out there that's defending this nonsense, that's out here want to come out here calling yourself attacking me for calling this buffoonery out, you are part of the problem. You guys, when we called out Rihanna for what she did last year, never forget, because I did a video about that last year about Rihanna putting up a photo of Dr. King with gold fronts and diamond earrings and all that. And you have people up there, and you got these jackasses, these dimwits, thunderheads, and dodo birds out here, defending that, talking about, oh, why don't you leave Rihanna alone? You know, that's her way to celebrate that. No, that's not how we celebrate our heroes. But that just goes to show you that a lot of you guys are coons, a lot of you guys are sellouts, a lot of you guys will shoot and kill your own brother, as opposed to these white supremacists out here who will run you out your home through gentrification and eminent domain, who will do everything else to you, right? But you don't see a problem with that. You don't see a problem with that. But you see a problem with me calling this buffoonery out. You motherfuckers is ass backwards, you hustle backwards, and I don't want nothing to do with you. You wonder why you young folks out there don't get the respect that you think you deserve? If you young folks out there, if you guys that's 18 years older and up, if you wonder why you don't get the respect you think you deserve because you show anything but respect. You think you can just bring your ass around me and talk to me any kind of way because you got through puberty, you got some dick and nuts, so you think you can just approach me and talk to me all reckless in any kind of way and think that makes you a man, right? While in the meanwhile, putting up posters like this, going to nightclubs, popping bottles, shaking your ass on a whole bunch of hoes that don't give a fuck about you. But that makes you a man, right? This is this, man. Look, I could go way in on this, but I gotta be careful because YouTube watching me. YouTube was watching me, so I can't really go in the way I want to go in. But this is the disgrace that this kind of nonsense here going on. That also goes to show you that a lot of people don't stand for nothing. And some of y'all need to be careful about putting up this kind of content. Y'all propping this thing up on the street because if the state really want to be pushing the issue, a lot of you guys would get sued for defamation. So y'all need to be careful about putting up this kind of stuff. Y'all really need to watch what y'all putting up. This is defamation of character. Yeah, it's easy out here to call out these white supremacists out here that will put up a statue and do all this other stuff. Because as Dr. King said, it doesn't cost them nothing. It doesn't cost them anything by putting up a statue or some kind of symbolic gesture. It's easy to call that out, but how many times we can look at our own community from our own image and look at this kind of nonsense and be willing to call that out? This is ignorant. And if Dr. King would be, if he was here today, he would not support nothing like this. Right, you got Nicki Minaj out here disrespecting Malcolm X. Who could ever forget that? That got dang on tether. But see, when you call that out though, when you call out these people disrespecting our heroes and all that, then we hate it. Because they have nothing else to say. But, oh man, y'all just be haters. You just hating on Nicki Minaj. Let that girl be. Let her do her thing. That's what these buffoons out here would say. This is off-brand, off-code behavior. You would never see the Asian community prop up a hero like this. You would not see white folks out here, these white supremacists, the people who they call heroes, you will not see them prop them up like this. But here in the black community, this is what we do. We gotta associate everything with twerking and shaking ass and fanning a whole bunch of $100 bills with gold fronts, gold teeth, spinners, and god dang on whatever else kind of buffoonery that that gives the black community this stigma. So if you see stuff like this in your neighborhood, you need to be taking this kind of stuff down. This stuff should not be propped up on tree poles or light poles. This stuff should not be propped up because, hey, you can park your car somewhere and then next thing you know, you see a flyer, some random dude put a flyer on your car with this kind of nonsense on there. Just unacceptable. Off-brand, off-code behavior. That's all I gotta say about that, man. If you're not subscribed to this channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and share these videos on your social media platforms. Hey, you guys that's out there in the youth, right? Instead of looking at twerking videos, instead of looking at people out here getting involved in fist fights and shootings and all that, how about you take that same device, whether it be a tablet, whether it be a computer, whether it be your phone, whether it be your smartwatch, and actually look up what Dr. King stood for. Actually look up what the man was stood for. Not by what the teachers told y'all in class, not by what some dean, distinguished, honorable professor tell you, and definitely not what the white media tells you. Look up and understand what this man stood for. And if you understand what this man stood for, you wouldn't accept this kind of buffoonery that's being propped up here. Shouts out to the LDBC, man. This your man. Scream at me. Oh!